No glasses. Thanks, Josh.
And thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. My name is Dustin. I am one of the mods and podcasters of Live Reality Games. You can check us out at facebook.com/live reality games. We have a special kind of like throwback Thursday kind of thing. We're not throwing it way far back, kind of recent. We are here with some of the cast and some production from Mayhem Manor Season 2 Sweet Revenge. I will be acting kind of just as a moderator tonight. Hopefully it works a little bit easier than the presidential debates. Hopefully. However, these two earlier, I hear they're pretty boisterous, which is great.
They are.
Neville works with Aunt Jackie's production, and they're going to be running the Mayhem Manor from here. And Neville, I'll just turn it over to you, introduce your guests, and take it over.
Well, yoo-hoo, everyone. This is Neville, owner of Aunt Jackie Productions, who've been putting on the Mayhem Manor live game in Claremont, Florida for the past few years. And we're moving on to season 3. Season 3 was pushed back due to, of course, the whole pandemic. But now we're going full steam ahead. And in 1 month, we will be picking it up. So today I have with me Joshua Calhoun, current reigning champion from the Totem Pole. He also played season 2. He's not the reigning champion of that, of Mayhem. And he's actually joining us season 3 on production. So welcome, Josh.
Thank you.
Yay!
And then we have Destiny. She also played season 2 of Mayhem Manor Sweet Revenge. And she also played in the first Takes on Jack production game, Shady Survivor Live. So that'll be coming later this year. So give it up for Destiny. Yoo-hoo! All right. So today we're going to talk a little bit about season 2. How things were, how things went, your experiences, and then we're going to talk about season 3 and what people should expect, what they should look out for, and just really, the Mayhem brand, going forward. So, Josh, I'm going to start with you, and thank you for sporting your Mayhem Manor paraphernalia tonight. So explain, because Mayhem Manor was actually your first live game, right?
Yes.
So explain what it was like going from that, going from the online games into your first live game and it being a game like Mayhem Manor.
Got it. So for me, whenever I play online games, it's a set of people, usually anywhere between like 16 to 20, not that many people, at least for me, But then I go into the Mayhem house, there's 36 people. So I got to memorize 35 other names that aren't mine. A huge house on top of that. Everybody's drinking. Everyone's vibing. So I got to figure out where I fit into that in person. And I don't know why I didn't think with that. It was just a lot to navigate for my first live game, and I was expected to be pretty much a copycat version of an org, but it's nothing like that at all. It's completely different. It's intense. It's crazy. It's an org, but in 2 days, but in person. It's a mini amplified. It's so many different things. So that was my experience with that.
Do you think it kind of prepared you for your Totem Pole win?
Absolutely, 100%. The mistakes I made in the Mayhem Manor house, I looked at those and made sure to never make those mistakes again. And here I am as a winner. So,
just to give the audience a little bit of perception about how many people were in the cast, we have a cast photo, and everyone on that cast was there, and it was a huge, amazing thing to watch when it was live. I tell you.
And the Totem Pole had a fraction of that. So I was able to navigate just like that small part of it. So that was pretty cool.
And it was like in the same amount of days too.
What did you say?
I said, and it was in the same amount of days, right?
Yeah, 2 days. You had 14 people in one cast, 36 in the other. So I think it was kind of easier to get it.
But Destiny, was that your first live game too?
Yeah, actually, I was like brand new to the community at all. I'd only been in the community for like 2 months before someone was like, hey, come play this live game. And I was like, yeah, right. What is this? And then they added me to a group chat with you and you were like, actually, we do need another female, and you can totally come if you don't like, but you have to come. Like, you can't back out. I don't have time for any bullshit, basically.
Oh my God, I said
no, you didn't say that, but paraphrasing in my head, like, you were like, are you coming or not? Because I need another female. And it was just kind of the perfect timing that this kind of came in my life. And it was my first game, and I knew, think about the horror community who comes. I knew a fraction of the people were there because I wasn't in the community for very long. So it was crazy. Crazy is the only adjective it's crazy.
And did either of you watch season 1 at all before going into Mayhem 2?
No. In fact, I was actually upset. I wasn't in season 1. So for y'all who don't know, I live about 20 minutes away from these houses that are in Florida. I'm in Orlando. And at the time, I was living even closer. So I was like, there's a whole live game happening. And I live down the street from it. I was pissed. But it gave me some awareness as to what was actually happening around me. And then I played for season 2. So we were fine. But yeah, I was upset.
Hey, I guess that's a great promo to be like, everyone follow Live Reality Games so you're all up to date. There could be a game happening down the road and you'll never know. So
literally. So let's talk about the house, though. Well, Destiny, you don't get to talk about the house at all.
Listen, they have renovated and they have made some great improvements. But last year, girl,
Destiny
y'all nasty.
So I do all the rooming assignments, before everybody comes, based on people who pay in full early, they get to pick, and then like everybody else, I kind of just fill in things to kind of make it make sense. So Destiny walks in, and my just first time meeting her, and the first thing she says to me was, "I better not be in that ball pit room." And in my head, I'm like,
with my big ass suitcase. Me and Hannah had the most luggage, and we were both in that room. Out of all of the people who were there, Hannah and I had so much stuff, you would have thought we were staying in Florida for 2 months, because that is how we packed. Sure enough, we're both in the ballroom, and I'm like, what do we do with our stuff? And eventually, in the day, my stuff gets dumped out, and my suitcase gets covered in balls. So I spent part of the day looking. It was a nice prank, but I spent a whole part of the day trying to find like pants.
Finding anything in that ball pit room was ridiculous. This literally, guys, it's a room, and the entire floor is covered with about, I would say it comes up to about your shin.
Yeah, well, right? Easily your shins are higher.
If not past your shins, depends on where your shins are. But
you can quite literally lay down in there and cover yourself up, and nobody would know you were in there. And then people 100%. and people do. People do.
It was
this sounds like McDonald's like play place, like up like 10 degrees.
Exactly.
Like.
Yep. And it's the only room. It's the only room people would go into to talk, because it was like nobody's gonna come in and out. Will know if you're here because it's loud as crap.
That's one of my most serious conversations in that ball pit room.
You're lying. I didn't know that.
Well,
everybody, I literally made a comment that I should have just set, because we couldn't have our phones. I should have just set my phone on record. I would have heard everything, and it hit it in the damn ball pit, because that's where everybody was at, running their mouth.
Well, I mean, Dustin, you didn't do bad at all. What did you place?
9th.
9th, yeah. So I mean, I guess you did.
That's because I had a badass partner. So shout out Jake.
Shout out to Jake. Yes.
Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, shout out to Jake.
That man handled my anxiety. He handled my fears. He handled it all. He kept me sane. And we were quiet day 1, and then we weren't quiet day 2. Sorry, Jake. My bad.
So let's talk a little bit about the format or the partnership aspect of it. So if you don't know, Mayhem Manor is a partner game, and it's not like you sign up with a partner. It's not like you're like, oh, hey, bestie, come, we're going to go on this trip. If you come with your friend, you might not be your friend's partner. And then the partners change throughout the entire game. Shout out to Clark Wilcox for coming up with an amazing format for the first 2 seasons. So, Josh, you were partnered with somebody who you did not know at all, to begin with. You and Tara, and it looks like y'all like best friends for life. Y'all had just met like 10 minutes before this.
Well, her nail polish kind of matches your socks, so I thought
they
that
were
was
coordinating.
Going, yeah.
Look, she has on the shirt there. Now he has on his shirt. They're like BFFs, okay?
No, we were the team, and I was unsure of how we would do because I don't know her. I just met her, but we did phenomenal. We kicked booty. We did everything we had to do. It was just we were cute. We were the cutest team for sure. So
I agree. Y'all were so cute. I was like, oh, this is like a match made in heaven.
Like when we had a win, we celebrated any win, whether it was small, like just advancing to the next round, getting something right. We were almost out a few times. But
y'all were just making it.
Just a little air. It was good.
And then you and Tara got put in to the card challenge.
The card one, yes.
Who put y'all in? Do you remember?
Mary Beth and what's his face? Was
Parker.
it Dewan? Parker. Because Dewan was the reason why we got put in.
Correct.
Yes, but
Correct.
Parker and Mary Beth pulled the trigger and put us in the
Ooh. Destiny, do you remember that round? Because I do.
I remembered the aftermath of that round because I wasn't in. This was a day one drama, I believe.
Yeah.
Day two. No, this is day two.
Was it early day two?
No, this is day one, wasn't it?
I think it was. Was it? It must have been really
you're right.
early day two.
This like kicked off day two. This kicked off day two. You're right.
So day one, I was kind of in my own little happy self. I minded my own business. I talked like I was polite. I used my manners. I mean, I made connections with people, Josh being one of those people. Like, I made my connections. I was with my people, and that is where I stayed. And then, two, I was like, you know what? If we're going to do this, we might as well play. Like, leave it all. You know, you're paying money to come play a game that you love or to emulate the challenge or Big Brother or Survivor, whatever it is your passion. So if you aren't coming to play, why are you coming? And so I had to get out of my head day one, and I was like, you know what? Let's play. Let's play.
Let's do some stuff.
Let's just do something.
That's also the weird thing about Mayhem compared to, I think, other games, because some people are coming more so for the vacation, for the, experience, for the meetup. I always kind of call it a meetup disguised as a game, because a lot of people come like, oh, I'm just here to get drunk. I want to meet these people. I'm on vacation. I'm in this cute house. And then that's night zero. And then day one starts and the first challenge comes and everybody's like, oh, this is so fun. And then the first elimination, then it's like,
this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
But I will also say the one thing that I talk about when people ask me what do I wish had happened at Mayhem a little bit different for me, there were a few things that I wish I stuck my foot down in with my partner. But aside from that, like that's gameplay. Aside from that, I kind of wish I was eliminated earlier.
A lot of people say that.
Because I missed getting to hang out with everybody. I didn't get to hang out by the pool. I remember being like, where are y'all getting this food? We're not even allowed upstairs. Can y'all bring me something down? Like,
what people need to realize is Mayhem is like this.
It's constant. Yeah. There's no, if you're in the game, you get a break to go to the bathroom and maybe get some water. But you're in the game.
You need to have pocket snacks on hand, water bottle nearby, I had my stick of deodorant nearby too, because I was like, y'all gonna smell me on this vacation. No ma'am. So I had a little stash, and I will say
that's a cute tip.
It is. No, and I had the same thing at Totem Pole. I always had a little stash. So I'm like, it's right there. Let me go get my lotion so I can be moisturized, so I can feel good throughout my day. But I will say
also say, hide some shit downstairs, because wherever you're at, like I had aspirin and I was the only person who had aspirin. And people would be like, can I get some of that? I'm like, ooh, didn't you just vote me? You can have a headache.
And then me and you, Destiny, I remember I gave you some Pedialyte the morning of day two. She was down, y'all, down for the count.
Done.
I was like, no, we working together. And I should have gave Jake some Pedialyte too, so he could have drunk some of that Kool-Aid as well, because it did not translate.
Jake, I can't tell you how many we had like hidden stashes of sunscreen for my little ginger friend because we were outside all the time. But those are
I
things
didn't
that
know that.
you just don't think about. And because we're all kind of in this one, like where your call is going to be at, we're told.
Mhm.
So if you just have a little go bag down there, people don't really mess with your stuff. Just have it
Nope.
down there. So you have brush your teeth, you nasty. Put some deodorant on, you nasty. Half y'all ain't showering, so you need it, you
All
nasty.
future Mayhem participants, please listen to these tips because this is stuff that I'm not even privy to. I'm too busy, hollering and cursing people. I'm
telling you,
the game moves like this.
Bring aspirin, bring Band-Aids,
Pedialyte,
bring
it all.
Pedialyte, bring granola bars, stuff that and then you can use it as leverage. Not saying you should, but you can. But bring that kind of stuff because you're gonna get a blister on your foot. Somebody's gonna fall and cut their hand, and you don't have time to go run around and asking production for a Band-Aid. You're gonna get it 3 competitions later, and you're gonna be mad because that's what caused you to drop the ball.
Let's rewind there. If there's an incident, production is on it. Okay, let's not act like people are out there dying. And we're
I'm talking about
gotta vote.
I'm talking about a paper cut where it's uncomfortable.
Oh,
no,
paper cut we're ignoring.
If something legitimately happened, you would be taken care of. But like if it's an uncomfort thing,
no,
there's just not time. There's not enough time. You hardly have time to know who to vote, let alone find a Band-Aid.
And let me tell you, you do not. I'm still upset to this day. I had to vote first, like at least 4 times that entire time I was there.
Please.
No.
Please.
No. First, and you know how long I have to figure out who I'm voting for? Maybe 10 seconds. They're like, all right, Josh and Tara. I'm like, there's 20 people. I don't even get 10 seconds. It was a mess.
You know how many times Josh and I would look at each other and be like this? And then he'd walk out and he was like, I voted Steve, right? And I'm like, yeah, it changed, sorry.
Yes, I was just about to bring that up. The vote literally changes after the first couple of people vote, and they're like, well, I just had to vote.
Sorry, Steve. That was my bad, buddy.
It is the word mayhem cannot be a better word. Literally,
it's chaotic. Sometimes it's fair, and then sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. So.
Do you remember that second competition where somebody punished Jake and I because we voted them? When the whole house voted them, the vote was like 34-2, but you called us out 34-2, and he was like,
"Oh, when y'all had to do the cleaning,
we had to go up and clean. You know how hard it was listening to 32 other people downstairs, and the whole time I was like, I'll be Cinderella, but Jake, can you listen for the vote because they're gonna vote us? We're not in the room."
Just to get everybody a little backstory on that, because now it just all came back. So there was a punishment that they got to pick a team that had to join hospitality during the voting. So literally Destiny and Jake had to put on aprons and they got ushered up upstairs to take out all the trash from the night zero.
I did the dishes. Yeah, I did the dishes. Jake had to do the trash.
And the trash can is literally like off campus. So he had to like carry these trash bags. And then Destiny's up there washing dishes and the vote is happening. And she's like, I just hope I hope the connections that we have just get us through this round because they were pissed.
And it's not even so much about being mad. It's if you're not there and you miss something. You have
no clue.
You miss it because there's so many people. It's not like somebody can be like, and you can try, but like we walked down to vote. Everyone was sitting and it was dead silent. And I like looked and Jake looked and I was like, somebody want to tell me who to vote? Even though I didn't say that, but I'm like looking and I'm like, oh hell, let's hope this didn't change. Because
that always changed. It always changed.
Let's talk about eliminations. Josh, let's talk about how your elimination went.
Okay.
Go.
So All right.
And then
So
try not to. If you're triggered, then let me know. I can go to Destiny first.
No.
Oh yeah, because I'm not triggered.
Here's the tea on my nomination, and the reason why I want to play more live games after it, because I needed something to wash my mouth out from that experience. So here's what happened. So there's this competition called Connect 4. You know, we're all kind of, we know the game, and you play with your partner. One of you is blindfolded, and there's the pucks out in the grass. Your partner, who's by the Connect 4 station, they have to yell out to you, go left, right arm, left arm, pick up you run back to them. So you got to listen to their voice, their clap, whatever they're doing to get you back.
Follow the clap.
First person to 4, Connect 4, or the person with the most at the end wins. And it's done tournament style, kind of like there's a loser bracket, there's a winner's bracket. Here's the little twist though. The winners had the opportunity to pretty much determine who's in the loser's bracket by saving a team. Up until this point, I'm cool with Jake. Me and Jake are tight. Me and Destiny, we have a pretty good relationship too. And you would have thought at some point Jake would have been like, no, it's me and Josh. We're keeping Josh. But it was actually Destiny who was champion for me a little bit. Like, we need to probably keep Josh here. Jake made a side deal with Live Game
You didn't do that,
Legend.
Destiny?
Baby, that wasn't a little bit. I was in Jake's face. That's on camera. That's when I was like, oh, hell no.
You should have put your foot down, yeah.
That's my one. I've talked about this 100 times. My one game regret is not telling Jake, I don't care what you said. Now I get his fears. That's the competition he went out home on season 1. He had really bad anxiety all weekend about that. Going up to the competition, he was like, we're going home. It's a purge. We're going home. And I was like, Heifer, I've been blindfolded since as long as I've been able to. Like, this is this is my competition. We got this. Just chill. We got this. And we do end up winning. We do end up winning the competition.
Yeah. But Josh ends up going home.
But he goes.
Yeah. So I go home as a byproduct, and I was like, in my eyes, Jake was my number one ally in that game because we were talking and we made moves together, and Destiny was his partner. And in reality, it really should have been Destiny who was my number one ally because she was going for me. She was like, we need to keep Josh in the game. But then I went home. I think the reason why I went home, though, is I wasn't really focused in my head because literally minutes before this elimination, I got into, I guess, an argument or kind of like a little scruffle with Mary Beth. Mary Beth's the one who put me into the previous elimination, and I won that. However, I kind of blew up on her, and I was like, fuck you, Mary Beth, fuck you, bitch. And the adrenaline in my body, because that was the first time that entire weekend anybody saw any hostility from me or any confrontation. I've been quiet, smiley the whole time. And you know what? No one saw that side of me. So it was a shock. And I took that as people being upset with me. And when in reality, only a couple people were mad. My biggest regret is letting Stephanie Daniels kind of just make me feel did something wrong in that moment. And
was she even in the game at that point?
That's my thing.
She was out.
She was out. So the cool thing is when you're out of Mayhem Manor, you can kind of hang out and stuff. But I just did not appreciate her coming into that room and saying, like, you shouldn't have done that. You were wrong. She made me feel like shit. And I'm like, no, Stephanie. Like, now I'm looking back at it. I'm like, no. And I'm
about to say, now that's looking back at it. Because I remember even talking to you after the blow up, a few days. No, this was a few days later. I remember talking to you and being like, hey, don't ever feel like you need to apologize during the game. People always, blow up and get emotional, and that's a part of the game. You just move on.
Happens in every live game.
Every live game.
He and I have a face call. I'm probably the only person who called you after. Oh, I don't know, but I called him about it, and I said, "Listen, I don't know what people are saying. I know people are watching the game and getting caught up right now. I was there. I was in the moment. I don't think you did anything wrong."
Yeah.
Emotions get high. Life gets high. You're in the moment. We're all competitive people. If we weren't competitive people, if you weren't competitors, you wouldn't be in these games. Nobody goes to family game night to lose Monopoly to a 6-year-old. You come to beat them.
Yeah. And in that moment, I was so happy because I haven't won a challenge. I was doing pretty poor. We were like second to last, like a lot of it. So I was like, yeah, like I finally won. Fuck you, bitch, for putting me up. And for her to do that to me, I just was like, you know what? Never again. Which is why I want to play more live games so I can, if I have an emotion and I want to feel it, I'm going to feel that now.
I think you're missing, there's more part of it too, though, is that they were lying about things that you were saying. So it wasn't the fact that she put you up, it was the lies that got you into that situation that kind of got, like, it wasn't because she put you up. It wasn't because y'all weren't, like, that wasn't what it was. It was the BS that stemmed the drama
Shout out
with
to DeJuan
it.
Watts for stirring the pot.
Stirring it up. But then it came out.
It's so quick. It's just so quick. And he made up the smallest lie. And it had the hugest effects.
You know what, though? I will say this. With all this might be my favorite round. Here's why. So in one room, I'm talking to Parker. And I'm like, Parker, don't put up to her. Like, we're good. We're good. She has a power that can save us. Because she did have a power in the game. Which I had to find out from somebody else. She had the power. She didn't even tell me. But I was like, don't put her up. She can protect us. Meanwhile, in the other room, there's someone else trying to get me put up. It was completely separate, and they came together, and it just so happened we're on the same team. It was crazy how it all happened to me. So.
It was amazing. Sorry. I mean, outside looking in, first of all, Josh did the elimination. It was the card elimination. And you won that one, and it was close because y'all both were guessing the last card wrong. So it was like, no, you're wrong, hold 10 seconds. No, you're wrong, hold 10 seconds. So that was so intense. And then Josh won. It was like a build up. And so when we were like, Josh, you won. He was like, yeah, fuck you, man. Just like went crazy. But then, of course, the next round, I think it was
the
Parker and Mary Beth were actually next to you. And they decide, hey, Mary Beth.
Hey, Mary Beth.
And they actually saved Parker and Mary Beth over you, right?
Yeah. No, it was they saved Jalen and who was Jalen's partner? Was it Lance?
Was Lance's partner?
It was
Lance
Jalen
was
and
partner.
Lance and Vicky and whoever was partners with Vicky.
Vicky was with Josh.
She was with me.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
it was Vicky and Josh at that point. It was Vicky, Josh, Nick and Lee, Josh and Jalen, and Parker and Mary Beth. And Parker and Mary Beth got saved, and so did Jalen and Lance.
And so we saved Jalen and Lance. Okay.
Yes.
I just remember it was Jalen.
Saved Mary Beth and
Parker. That's right. Yeah. That is where Jake and I, because I had said all day, like I let Jake do his thing. He was my rock. I had my connections. I let Jake do a thing. And when it came into, truth be told, there was a few people who I would say no to. I don't want to, because we had one earlier, and there were a few people who I was like, no, I'm not nominating them. He wanted to do pairs. I was like, well, then we got to find a pair that we don't like, that we can nominate, which ended up not even happening. The pair that we nominated are two of the people who I love the most from the game. Like they're the two people who I talk to them all the time. Like, I love these two people. And I'm like, well, crap, that's not who I thought they were. Glad there's 36 damn names for us to remember. So it's funny because I knew the name that I was supposed to say. And then as I said it and he said, I was like, oh, damn, that's not who I wanted to nominate.
That sounds like a typical live game excuse.
No, I said the name we talked about. It just wasn't to the right person. I said the right name. It's just not who I thought it was. They were going to go up anyways because it's how it worked out with our partnership. But then I probably would have advocated because I did like them more than some other people. I was like, dang. But that's the part where I still bring that up. I'm like, you remember when you didn't listen to me and then our whole game got derailed?
Because shout out to Mary Beth, she ended up going on to win the whole season.
She did. She did.
And she was that was like the only time the entire game that
Mary Beth would have been saved regardless. The part that was, well, yeah, because Sergio. Oh,
because Sergio and
they saved, but we should have saved Josh and Vicky. I then have to nominate somebody I didn't want to nominate, where I could have, sorry, Vicky, I could have nominated Vicky, which her lies or whatever, there was some drama there that I didn't know was true. So it would have been easy for me. The whole house kept nominating Vicky. What does it matter if I do it for her ninth elimination
y'all nominated
challenge?
poor Vicky like 8 times. She won the comeback challenge, and then y'all just kept.
What's the matter if I give her number 9? What's the matter if I do number 9? It already happened to her 8 other times.
Shout out to Vicky, the elimination queen.
The queen.
2.
She was.
Jesus Christ. Y'all
When I got
like
partnered with her, I
neck.
felt good. I was like, oh, I got a good partner. And then it was literally 5 minutes later, y'all out.
But from a strategic standpoint, she can be mad at me with 8 other people. You've been up here how many times? Like, but that whole part of it just kind of derailed, and it is what it is. I had fun.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And speaking of shout outs too, we did a shout out to Vicky. Mary Beth actually doing a reverse shout out. Josh.
Fuck you, bitch.
2 winners, right? 2 winners.
2 winners. 2 winners.
Oh, I'm glad that nobody's saying that to me yet.
And please watch the totem poll, because Josh doesn't tell anybody to fuck off or fuck you.
I don't. Not the whole time.
He didn't do that.
I called someone a clown.
That's
about it. I called someone a clown. That's about it.
So we are. Let's skip to. Let's talk about your favorite moment that happened on the trip. So it could be dealing with hospitality, it could be dealing with the game, it could be dealing with challenge, it could be dealing with somebody you met, anything. So Destiny, I'll start with you. What do you take from Mayhem 2 that you would say your favorite moment was?
I have a couple favorite parts.
Well, I need one.
Well, I'm gonna do me. So I can say, like, all around, the top thing that you can take from this are the relationships that I met. And I'm not even gonna say, because he knows who he is, the relationship that I developed with an individual is bar none. Like, I would do anything this individual asked me to do with 0 hesitation.
Oh, thank you.
Wasn't you, baby, but I love you. And I think I'm pretty confident this individual knows. Like, it was an instant. We saw each other in the house. We locked eyes, we had moments, we had real conversations, and it was just like, I'd go to jail for them. But my other favorite part of it is because I do get into some drama in the game, which we don't even need to talk about it. Like, whatever, it's so old. But my favorite part after that is because there is a part where I cuss out Jessica, bar none, cuss her out. And after the game is over, we never really talked about that part of it, but you could tell, like, at least I felt like it was, like, that was game, this is real life, we don't have drama. Like, what happens in a game is a game, who you are outside of a game, it doesn't have to impact anything. And so just having these relationships, like, yes, you're in a game, yes, you might be on different sides, yes, you might cuss each other out. Like, I verbally annihilated this poor girl. Sorry. But then at the end of it, like, we hosted this messy mini together, and we were working together and had these, like, it was her and I along with Jalen and it didn't matter. And I think that's the part that you can take away from it, is these relationships, your drama doesn't have to ruin your damn life.
No.
Let game drama be game drama. Let the words you say in a game, close the envelope, seal it away, and let it go. And then if you play another game with them, which you can do, you can play games with people you have drama with.
Yeah,
you can do it. Spoiler alert, you can do it. But it doesn't have to, like, necessarily be the only thing that comes out of it. When I talk about my experience at Mayhem, it's not the drama. It's what people want to ask me about, because there's a lovely gif of me running around.
I use it all the time.
Which I did not pull, by the way.
He does.
By the way.
He uses the gif all the time.
All the time.
What makes me mad is when I get the gift sent to me, and I'm like, you can't use me to me! What are you? That's me! You can't use me to me.
Hey, Josh.
But so if you aren't playing a game to get a gift made out of you, are you even really playing the damn game? There's my challenge to all of you.
I think my favorite moment, I will say relationships too. There's a special group of people who I still talk to this day on a regular basis. And it's so cool that this experience got me to this point. But I also think it's such a cool networking experience. Like, I would have never known about other opportunities such as the totem pole without Mayhem Manor. So I have a lot to thank for Mayhem Manor for getting me this deep into it, because I'm on their production team now. I'm helping out with Totem Pole now. It's so cool. Like, 13-year-old Josh never thought he'd be like, playing live games and then now help organizing them. And it's what this game did for me. So I'm really appreciative for it.
Oh, well, I will say my favorite moment from season 2 would definitely be the talent show. So, if people who don't know, at Mayhem, we have different theme nights. Like, the game is only, it's a good chunk of the day, but every night, we have a theme night and we have a great, there you go.
Little night.
Every night we decompress with different themes. We have a great staff and hospitality team that, knows how to rev the things up right after dinner. And those are my favorite moments because you get to see this melting pot of people from all different walks of life. You got people who never even watch reality shows there. You got people who are in the OR community, in the LRG community. You got people from Canada. You got people from overseas. You got people from the East Coast, West Coast, different shapes and sizes, colors, everything. And at the talent show, I remember just seeing different things that I knew people weren't, accustomed to in their own, microcosm of whatever world they come from. So it was just really cool to sit back and just watch these different cultures kind of like learn about each other. So those are the moments that I'm always like, damn, I got to keep doing this shit.
Yep. We were talking to people from in different countries. Josh just there. He did a shout out there. He's actually from Australia. So.
Oh, okay. We have a lot of Joshes
over the world.
Yeah.
So.
It's these Joshes. Yeah. Josh is international.
UK Josh, Australia Josh.
So I want to talk a little bit about now season 3. So of course, season 3 was supposed to be back in March. And literally the week of seasons 3 launch, like everybody had their plane. I think every single person had their plane ticket. We had everything ready to go. We had done all the reveals, and we were like 4 or 5 days out, and the government shut everything down, and we were like, "What is like?" It was just unprecedented. We never, in none of our lifetimes, we never dealt with anything like this. So it was like, "What do we do? Are like people really dying?" So we had to push it back, and we pushed it back to May because we didn't know what the hell was really going on. And then, of course, in May, we realized how big of a shit show it was actually. Because in March, it was like, oh, okay, everything's going to be like shut down for like a week or two, huh? And so come May, it was like, oh, no, this is like terrible. So we had to push it back all the way to November. And these dates are actually the dates that were supposed to be season 4. Yeah, so this was actually the booking for season 4 because I've tried to book 2 seasons ahead. So thank God I already had it booked. So now we're here. And now we're entering this new norm of how do we, because coronavirus isn't going away. We all messed up, I guess. So now it's like, how do we navigate in this new norm of getting back to the things we love, getting back to the things we do, getting back to work, getting back to our hobbies, getting back to, some sense of normalcy with these extra, precautions and doing these extra things now. So, shout out to my team and shout out to all the cast. If you haven't been looking, head over to the Mayhem Manor page now. We do Baewatch Wednesdays. We have some all-stars coming this season. I'm so impressed by the cast.
Now, Neville, you said the Mayhem page. Where do people find that at?
So it's on Facebook. It's Mayhem Manor. And we'll make sure we drop the link below this video as well. And unfortunately, a few of the people who originally signed up are out of the country. We had Alex Viver coming from Germany. We had about 6-7 people coming from Canada, and now these people can't make it. So we're actually still currently looking for a few replacements. So everybody watching, if you want this Mayhem experience, even after you heard how crazy it sent these two people over here. If you're still crazy enough to want to do it, you can sign up now and hopefully, you know, get one of those spots. Matthew Brinkley, shout out to him. He does all the interviews. So he's ready to do his second batch of interviews. We got a lot of good applicants so far. So Dustin, I want to shoot this question to you, actually.
Absolutely.
In the past, who have been your favorites to watch when you're watching it?
Just for instance, this cast right here. Obviously, I really like the strong game players, the ones that put everything into the challenge, that really go like full out. I remember, I think last season you did a challenge where you like hid the chess pieces, and I saw people just sprinting into the woods trying to get like the furthest away. Like those are the people that go the long way, and I really want to see them succeed.
Dustin, I hope you caught it, but did you see when you said hide the chess pieces, both Destiny and Josh looked away and looked down? That is a famous Mayhem competition that is the most hated. It's like, ooh.
If y'all have to do chess in season 3, good luck. I never had to do it in season 2, and it's the only challenge I never want to do. I never want to do it. No,
if y'all, and you would do yourself a disservice if you don't just walk out there, pick up those chess pieces, walk around, figure out a strategy, because the stuff that you don't want to do is what you get picked to do. I was ready to do the chess one. What I wasn't ready to do is swimming. And I don't even know if Neville remembers, but it was Neville and other parts of production. It was like 11:30 on day 1, and everyone had went to bed. I was in my swimsuit, going down the stupid ass slide, swimming to the other side, because my fat ass can't swim. But I knew that was going to be the competition I got, to the point where one of the members of production, or one of the counselor of production, no, it was Clark and Rex, who were like, Destiny, we see you can't swim, but we need to go to bed, so you can't keep doing this because you're gonna drown. But I knew that if I didn't practice it and get in my head that I could at least make it there, I was going to be in my head for the challenge. And sure enough, that's the challenge that I have to do on my elimination. And I was in my head that whole elimination.
Yeah.
And it was because I knew it was happening. So if you're afraid of something and you don't just do your best to just practice it, go out there, feel those chess pieces, go down that stupid slide. Trying to think what else. Go play some mini golf, because
like
shout out to shout out to A. Nicole Spears, host of Ascendance. She's actually a contestant for season 3. She was one of the originals, and she's still coming. So this will be her first season. So she's right.
The queen of season 3s, honestly. This is her second season 3.
I'm telling you,
season 3. So
you do yourself a practice running in the woods with a cheeseburger or something.
Oh my gosh, you will not have to run in the woods. But to piggyback off of what Dustin said, this game is live streamed. It's not episodic. You know, you can actually watch it while it's happening. So, you know, you definitely want to put on a good impression for those who are watching, because people are rooting for you. People are, I think last year, one of the videos got like over 1,000 views, and we were like, oh my God. Like while we were like, I said, oh my gosh, y'all, people are watching this nonsense.
And you know, that's one of the best things to watch too, is to watch in general, just to have like 30 people commenting on the video and going rooting for their favorites. Some people we know from other past games, some people we've never met, and they're our new fan favorite. Like, watching this experience is so enjoyable too. It's definitely on all the time through the live stream, and it's so addicting to like not even stop watching. You have to keep watching this thing. So
yeah, I'm like, damn, people are still watching this. And it's so funny because even production, we just start like switching out of who got to run the live feeds. Like, you're gonna have to hold this phone. I think last year our phones kept on overheating and dying. Yes, and we had one on the drone at one point. It was just a mess. But we definitely love to do it for the group, because you know, y'all support really pushes these players, and then a lot of people who go from watching it end up being the people that apply for the next season. So it is a super important part of, being on that Mayhem page. Like I said, we're going to drop the link below. So final thoughts, everyone, because I want everybody to be able to see this triple eviction on Big Brother tonight. Hopefully it's something to actually watch. Mayhem Manor 3 is going to be better to watch. No. Big Brother All-Stars 2 is definitely not going to be as exciting as Mayhem Manor 3. That's for sure. For sure. The live feeds for Mayhem are better. So, ladies first, final thoughts.
I stand by. Apply, even if you're nervous. Apply. Play the game. You won't regret it. There's something for everybody. Literally, from the person who doesn't talk to the person who doesn't shut up. There is something for everybody. And play the game. Don't be scared. Put it out there, because the worst thing you can do is be on a call a year later talking about the things that you wish you would have done, so your game could have been different. Don't be us. Don't be us.
All right, Josh.
Well, I think she said it all. No, but for real, have fun. Watch. If you can't make it, watch. It's an enjoyable experience. Literally something happening throughout the entire day. You'll see some strategy happening. You'll see the competitions. And if you're playing, good luck. You'll see me there. I'll be there with my boo, just making sure everything's going great. I have my role, I have my job, period. It's gonna be fun. Come prepared for the costumes, the outfits, all of that. Get into the because the sooner you get into it and the sooner you have fun, everything else is just icing on the cake. So just have fun.
And we need some new gifts. So if somebody could, just say some crazy stuff, because mine's played out.
I have used Destiny's on so many dates, like so many bullshit guys. When they bullshit me, I just send them Destiny's little gift. I might have to send it to somebody tonight. Dustin, any final thoughts?
Just a quick shout out to all the people watching here tonight. Nicole, we got Josh from Australia. Let's see here. Mary Beth tuned in, the winner, of course, and then Josh from the UK. So this really has been a great time tonight. Neville, Josh, Destiny, thank you all for joining us for the Live Reality Games podcast here at Live Reality Games. You can find us here. And then for the people that didn't watch or that are easier to just listen, we also have these podcasts going anywhere you can find podcasts. Spotify, all the above. Like, just type in LRG and we'll pop up.
And see you guys next Thursday. And don't forget to follow the page, Mayhem Manor, Florida Vacation.